the main event. Welcome to WHW Monday. Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson.
Jim Crockett First Arcade, 605 NWA. TV title, Cajun Omni, the Bunkhouse Stampede. Flair and Horseman, Garvin, Bogey, Magnum, Dusty, Express Tag Team. Turner, Barton, Mid-South Joy World Championship Wrestling.
Talking about the great years of World Championship Wrestling, the NWA, and Jim Crockett Promotions.
Tony and Friends North, they win. Look, Schiavone's back again. World title split off, center stage, Bischoff, Disney, Hogan, and Nitro. New World Order and the Crow. Thunder, Russo, Arquette Champ, Vinnie Mac, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh. Lowest rules can't pass. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom Zigg's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a chair. Tommy, you come over here.
What happened when? WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, how are you, man?
I'm freezing to death.
Well, is it cold where you are?
Yeah, man. I guess when you get old, I don't know. I used to be, I'm just cold all the time.
I can only assume that when you're saying you're very cold, you must still be in bed with Lois.
That would be a pretty good guess, but this time you would be wrong. But not a bad guess. All right, there. I put a sweater on, and I feel better.
Well, I'm glad to hear it because we're going to be going back in time to a rather cold show. January 9th, 2000. It was ECW's Guilty as Charged. And that was going down at the Boutwell Auditorium in Birmingham, Alabama.
The old Boutwell, man.
The old Boutwell. And I'm pretty excited about this one because I was actually at this show, and this is one of those shows where, well, I look back at with rose-colored glasses because when you look at it on paper, it's just not that great. But, couldn't tell me 18-year-old me shit. I was all about it.
So you're ringside at this along with Larry Thompson. Is that correct?
Nope. Dad never went to an ECW show, but I did drag along a couple of friends. I had a couple of friends I took to every ECW show, and I think both of them are here. Maybe only one is seated with me, but yeah, I managed to make my way down to Birmingham from North Alabama, and I was pretty excited about this show, man. We were finally getting an ECW pay-per-view. Previously, we had only gotten ECW television shows, so this one was a big deal, but I felt since we're right here at the 20-year anniversary, what better time to talk about it than now? Of course, tomorrow will be the exact 20-year anniversary, so I'm excited to go back and revisit this one. So fire it up on your WWE network, go to the pay-per-view section, and then find ECW. It's Guilty as Charged 2000, January 9th, 2000. The runtime on this one, 2 hours, 33 minutes. Should be a fun time. I know how much you love watching old ECW stuff.
I sure do, and I look forward to seeing a younger version of you in the stands. I'm sure we're going to be able to see you, aren't we?
Maybe. I mean, I know you can see. You'd have to know what you're looking for. But, I'll point it out, but it's going to be a little bit Where's Waldo, but I'll be the giant in the front row with a flat top. So there you go.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So I'm ready.
So fire up your WWE network. And, if we can nudge Lois to go ahead and, get her handkerchief and all that together.
Sir. You know what? Here's what's great about this. I know when she walks into a room, she warms up the room. So it'll make me feel much better. Wait,
is that because she has gas or why is that?
Well, it's a combination of that. Yes. And there's a lot of her. So it takes up a lot of oxygen. I probably shouldn't have said that.
Nope. Might need to edit that one out.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, here's the one and only queen of SD media, Lois Schiavone.
Damn right you're guilty as charged. 3, 2, 1, play.
The crowd goes wild. Boutwell Auditorium, an old wrestling staple, and now a pay-per-view. And here we are. I'm in the bottom left-hand corner. Joey Styles and Cyrus the Virus, the future Don Callis. Man, who would have thought that between the two here, the bigger upside in wrestling was Cyrus?
Yeah, Don Calais has become a pretty big deal, hasn't he?
I like that you're calling him Don Calais.
I'm still looking for you. Well, I know I'll see you.
Oh, I'm hard to miss.
Hey, the old Boutwell Auditorium was the place. You know, we had some WCW shows there.
Sure.
And it was the place that Matt, Chris, John Michael, and Tim, all five of my boys came there to a show with me. And they went into the ring during the early days. I mean, earlier in that afternoon. And the Giant threw them around the ring. And they were just big Paul White fans and have been ever since then.
Man, that's awesome. So what year do you think that would have been? 95, 96?
Yeah, it would have been obviously it'd been in the 90s, 95, I would think. So Matt would have been like, Matt would have been like 11, 12. And Chris would have been 10. The twins would have been 8, something like that. So yeah, I'll never will forget. And that's my one real fond memory of the Boutwell Auditorium. In that, also that, it was look at that WCW suck signs. Come on, guys. What the fuck did we do to you? It also in that, it was a pretty good place to do a wrestling show. It really was. Had a pretty good look to it, don't you think?
Had a fine look. It was set up nicely. And the good thing for ECW, it wasn't too big. You know, the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center, a lot bigger than Boutwell Auditorium. This is a much more reasonable size, and there's not a bad spot in the venue as a result. As a matter of fact, most ECW shows, whether you were a quote unquote cheap seat or a ringside, you didn't have a bad seat, which is always good if you're a fan on a budget.
Here's our buddy,
the one and only, the lyrical miracle himself, Joel Gertner.
Makes me smile. He makes me smile every time I see him.
What a great gimmick it was too, to keep the neck brace going forever, and then put a bow tie around it. You could always tell, by the way, where the ticketing was based on how wide the aisleway is and how far away it is from the stage. So apparently, well, I guess ECW in 2000 isn't exactly setting the woods on fire, but that seems to be the case even in Birmingham.
Okay, we're talking about 2000, so we're still talking about clearances, I would think, have an impact on ticket sales. So
Well,
where did you watch ECW TV?
Unfortunately, by this point, they were on TNN. So they went on TNN August 27th, 1999, the 5-year anniversary of when Shane Douglas threw down the NWA World title and proclaimed Eastern Championship Wrestling, Extreme Championship Wrestling, and he was the champ. Well, that happened in 94. They got that clearance on TV in August of 99. And very quickly, things started to go poorly with the network because they weren't promoting the show at all. They were promoting shit like Rollerball, even though this was getting more eyeballs. And they bring in Don Callis here with the headset as a representative of the network, wink, wink, and make him the evil heel authority figure. Because already we're railing against the people who are giving us TV time. And we just got started in late August. And here we are in January.
All right, I get it. So we open up here and fans are going nuts as always. If there's one thing that ECW had more than anything else was passionate fans. I know we've discussed it before, but they felt a part of the promotion. They felt like it was theirs. That's why you see the ECW suck sign. You sure that wasn't you putting up that sign?
No, I'm not across from the hard cam.
Oh, you were left of the hard cam. Got it. All right.
I'm underneath the hard cam.
Do you recall it? You're underneath the hard cam.
Underneath it, bottom left. I'm not on screen right now, but you'll see a giant flat top in the bottom left-hand corner occasionally. That would be my big noggin.
Are you going to have someone fall in your lap?
No, not this time.
Have someone Okay.
I did have plenty of interactions before. I know that, Big Vito, took a sign from me, cause I was definitely a little asshole with signs, and,
Really?
ripped it up, spit on me. And I know, Bubba Ray Dudley, ripped up a sign once and, tore my shirt.
Really?
And I know, New Jack bled all over my seats once. I know Nigel McGuinness for Ring of Honor fell in my lap once doing a dive or something. So I've had some front row interactions that were, well, less than standard. I'm gonna play the audio here because these openings sounded fun. How badass was that intro?
Badass. You know what? That always gets me. Then we've seen that intro before. The Balls Mahoney chair shot always gets me because he lays them fucking out, man.
I thought it would have been the old Thong and Dance by Francine and Don Marie.
That was pretty good too. I have to admit. Hey, I was just thinking as that's you were talking about, you were a little asshole with the sign, and when like Big Vito ripped up that sign of yours, did you say, "In 20 years, motherfucker, I'm going to be making more money in the business than you are"? Did you say that to him?
Yes. No,
you should have.
In fairness, I was probably making more money in the business than he was even here. This is when Paulie Dangerously is bouncing checks. So,
right. Yeah.
And there you see Mikey Whipwreck, who's, an ECW original, former world champion, actually held a pinfall win over Stone Cold Steve Austin in the ECW. Now he's gone off to greener pastures, had a little bit of a run in WCW, and now we've got Lou E. Dangerously, not Paul, but Lou E. Dangerously.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the original cosplay in wrestling, is it not?
Yes, it is.
He does a great job with it too.
Yeah, with the exception of, have you had enough of, and we say it here because we are, you and I, Southern rednecks, but have you had enough of everybody calling people in the South redneck pieces of trash? I was thinking about that driving to New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl. And we're going through Montgomery and we're going through Mobile. And then we go across the bottom there and we go across through Biloxi and Gulfport and Mississippi and all that. And then I get in. So I'm thinking as I'm driving here, I'm thinking, you know what? This is a hell of a part of the country to live in. This is great people and a great life. And, fuck everybody that thinks that we're just fucking idiots.
Tony,
because we're not.
Heat. He's trying to get heat.
Well, I know that. I was talking about on a national level.
I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about us nationally. I like that they don't want to live here. It means there's more space and less aggravation for guys like me and you. Let them.
Well, that's a good point.
Let them go to the butthole of America. Let them live in like Cleveland or Pittsburgh or fucking New Jersey. Who wants to live in those places?
They're good places all around, and I get that. Sometimes I get pissed off about people shitting on the South.
I'm just kidding.
But anyway,
everybody knows the buttholes in Detroit. Come on.
Well, yes, it's around here.
I've had a lot of fun in Ohio and New Jersey. I don't know that anybody's ever had any fun in fucking Detroit. I mean, the goddamn giant got murdered there.
I was saying the giant fell off a roof.
Yeah. When y'all had him wrestling in Detroit, y'all came up with the bright idea of pushing him off the fucking building. You bring him to Birmingham, he wants to tussle with children.
Is this a handicap match we got here?
Well, I don't know that it was going to start that way, or it was intended to start that way, but here it is. I think it was supposed to be. I mean, I don't know. I think it's C.W. Anderson versus Mikey Whipwreck.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, look like CW's partner, which, by the way, it seems like they're just the same.
Well, his partner, by the way, is Bill Wiles, but I think he would also be known as, it's like an ECW impersonator gimmick, like Elvis Wesley or something like that instead of Elvis Presley.
You know, one thing I noticed, and I guess I should have noticed it before, is that the ringside camera work tried to be a little bit different than other camera work as well. Mm-hmm. In other words, you know, the basic, wow, that was a hell of a bump.
Yeah, he should not have done that.
But basically, camera work at ringside is, you know, try to be as stationary as you can. But as you can tell, they're moving the camera with the action here, trying to create a, you know, kind of a different aura. Movement.
You know, the thing in wrestling, by the way, shout out to Mikey Whipwreck. Dude has sacrificed so much for wrestling, gone on to be a fairly prolific trainer in his own right. But my goodness, did he take a hell of a bump to the floor there. I mean, I felt like it was that scene in that 80s movie when he landed at the feet of those kids. I needed one of those kids to look to his friends and say, "Hey, y'all want to see a dead body?" Because that's what it looked like. My goodness. But no, I think that the camera work, the guy who's responsible for that now heads up camera work for that indie promotion that's on cable, like one of those Spanish soccer channels. So he's still doing something in wrestling, which is cool. And I think he's probably the first guy to do these tight cuts and things like that a a lot of people criticize WWE for now. But JJ Dillon told me once upon a time that was a Kevin Dunn directive, where whenever there was action, impact, he wanted there to be a camera switch, because apparently there was one show in particular, and which one I forget, but the blow that the guy sold missed by a mile. And because it missed by a mile, it was, you know, kind of embarrassing, and it was just plain as day on camera, and the guy sold it. So Kevin Dunn's attitude was, we have to cover that up as best we can. So, you know, where they can't be perfect, we have to sort of fill in the gaps for them. You know, if they're perfect every time, great. Our job is easy, but that's an unrealistic expectation. So let's do our part to make them look as good as we can. And let's do a quick cut. So on Impact, you would see a quick cut, and that has obviously grown in time. And now, where there's not a lot of movement, because they think from a production standpoint, that's what makes a television or an action show feel like there's more action. Create the illusion of movement. So if Kevin Nash isn't moving, just move the camera, and it will make it feel more live action, more action packed, more exciting. That's the theory. You know, not everybody is Rey Mysterio or the Young Bucks.
Yeah, and that's good. And that the guy you're talking about, the cameraman you were talking about before, you're talking about Dunn, is Charlie, who's a good guy, good cameraman. I've worked with him. He knows his stuff, and he's a pro. And I think a lot of times we look past as wrestling fans, and as not only as I don't do this, I can promise you this, but as people who work in wrestling, we kind of overlook the guys who shoot the shows for us, especially the guys with the handhelds. Those guys do hell of a work, man. They are great guys. They love the business, and so I have a lot of time for them. And
looks like
they're in harm's way,
Anderson,
man. You know.
CW Anderson has a foreign object.
Oh,
It's the old cell phone of Lou E, and bam, spine buster out of nowhere. That gets it done. CW Anderson picks up the victory. Meltzer would give this one a star and a quarter.
Even with all those bumps, a star and a quarter.
Well, Meltzer didn't really like that. He thought there was too much interference and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's our buddy Dave fucking booking again. Is that you helping him up? No, that's his partner. Sorry.
That's Bill Wiles, AKA
Okay.
Belvis Wesley. How about
Well,
Ronnie from Atlas Security?
Yeah, I know. Ronnie, man, he's still around.
He's the ghost of Christmas past. Looks like him too.
I thought that match was much better than a star and a half. Here's Don Calais again with
This is my new
Joey.
favorite thing. You calling him Calais?
Do you know, the fact that Joey has walked away from the business and
It's
that
very Tony
Mike,
Schiavone like, isn't it?
yeah, that Mike today has walked away from the business, kind of weird. It's like, I mean, if I had a few more years left in me, they do.
Well, I don't have time to do podcasts with everybody, Tony.
Oh, that's right. You got to start with Conrad and then move on. I get it.
Well, I mean, did it work for you? Did it work for Bruce? Did it work for Eric? Did it work for Arn? I'm just saying. I'm not trying to toot my horn, but as a friend of ours says, toot toot.
Toot toot. Yeah. I would say you and Tanae could probably do a podcast on betting and lines and, betting lines and over and unders and stuff like that.
I've tried, serious business. I've tried to get Joey Styles to do a podcast for years. He was one of the first listeners to Something to Wrestle. He actually used to listen to my Ric Flair podcasts, and we would DM and text message, and we're still very friendly. So I hope that one day he changes his mind and he pokes his head up and says, you know what, I've got the fever. Because almost everybody in wrestling who steps away eventually, picks it back up again. How about this? Look, Simon Diamond, who years later would go on to be a mover and a shaker behind the scenes for Impact. Here he is in his ECW prime.
What the fuck?
This is a ring announcer who I guess is being brought out specifically for Simon Diamond. And I like the look. Tuxedo, white gloves. He's getting his Mickey Mouse on.
Yeah.
See,
Simon Diamond.
This is not the glory days of ECW.
No.
And I'm not disparaging at all, but I'm saying when you think of ECW originals, a lot of those guys had moved on by here. Taz is gone. Well, a lot of guys, the Eliminators are no longer. Just a lot of the stuff that you sort of hung your hat on. This is ECW. It's not. It's another second generation, a new crop of guys. And I was actually a fan of the Simon Diamond gimmick. I'm just saying, back in the day, this would have been, Rob Van Dam and Chris Candido in the second match. And here we go. I know you would love this. Danny Doring with Elektra, who we've recently talked about here on the show, and his tag team partner, of course, Amish Roadkill. And he would always fashion his hands as if he was twisting the neck of a chicken, and he would say chickens because he chokes the chicken.
Sure, a lot of guys choke the chicken to her.
Yeah, I'm sure they did, like $20 lap dance at a time. Hey, how many lap dances do you think you've had in your life?
Me, I don't think I've had one.
Really?
Yeah. Look, we've gone over this before. I don't like strip clubs. And I know what your response would be. You just haven't been to the right ones.
No, I didn't say that at all. It's just weird that you'll just get on here with your damn tongue hanging out on a girl with, a dress on. But then when it's like, well, she'll take that off for $20. You're like, nah, I'm good. Because in this case, she was actually a dancer. So it was a good shot. You could have went and seen her no-nos. And you're like, nah, I'm good.
Well, you want to see more than just her no-nos, don't you?
What do you want to see?
Don't you want to see a cooter now and then?
Well, I mean, when I said no, I meant upstairs, downstairs.
Oh, got it. All right. I thought you meant no. The left no and the right no would be no-nos.
At my house, no is referred to as one spot.
Ah, okay.
The other spot is referred to as yes, yes. I knew I'd get you on that one.
That may have been one of the greatest ad libs we've had in a long time. Wow. That was good shit, man.
Check out what we're looking at right here. I got Nova and in tow with him. I mean, isn't this a fun look here?
Yeah.
There's Jazz. So it's going to be Simon Diamond, Danny Doring, and Roadkill versus Jazz, Nova, and Kid Cash. But somehow it's going to wind up being a tag match with Doring and Roadkill taking on Nova and Chris Chetty, who's not out yet.
This is like, look at this fucker. This is like just fucking nuttiness. And I get it. You look at this, you say there's no Taz, right? Is Rob Van Dam on this show?
Of course he is.
Okay. But I was saying, like, it's kind of like WCW without Ric Flair. It's kind of like WCW with, I don't know.
Well, here's what they got going for him. New Jack is an ECW original, and he's here, not as part of the Gangstas, but in singles action. Rob Van Dam are both here. Tommy Dreamer and Raven are here, and Mike Awesome is here, but without Terry Funk, without Shane Douglas, without the Eliminators, without Taz. It does start to feel a little different. There's a bunch of others too, but just off the top of my head, no Dudley Boys, no Taz, no Shane Douglas. I mean, the company, from when they first got hot, say in 95 to when they made their pay-per-view debut in 97. And now here, Bam Bam Bigelow was a former world champ a couple years prior to this, and he's gone too. Just a lot of those guys have gone to greener pastures, and the ECW faithful would chant at them, "You sold out," and sort of get shitty with them. But the reality is, a lot of these guys at this point aren't even getting paid. Things are tough in ECW, and they will eventually get paid, but they're being slow rolled on their payroll. So a guy like Shane Douglas, when he leaves, he's owed more than 6 figures and just can't afford to stay there anymore. And I don't think that's a bad thing for a guy saying, "Hey, I love wrestling and I love this promotion and I love this locker room, but you know what? I love my kids more. I got to go get some money for them."
Yeah. You being the businessman that you are, and there's been many books written on the death of WCW, and I think there's many variables that go into that. Is this a Kid Rock wannabe here, Kid Cash? I get it. Kid Rock.
But you've seen him before, and you were very impressed with him. We just recently saw him in action on another show, and you were really impressed. So stay tuned.
I'll be really impressed again. So, but my question is, why didn't ECW work?
Yeah, I think they probably grew too fast. Paul had big aspirations. You see the show is sponsored by, and it's even really big on the ring canvas here. that they've got a video game, and they got a video game with acclaim. But here's the trouble. The video game is one of the all-time worst wrestling games ever. I mean, horrific. So fans just weren't with it. And, you know, then they were in a race to have action figures, and, you know, they did okay, but they didn't do such gangbuster business that they ever tried to do them again. And, you know, they just, and by the time they tipped their toe in the pay-per-view waters, they were probably a little too early for that too, because as you recall, in this era, you would run a pay-per-view and, you know, you would have an idea of a preliminary buy number, but that doesn't mean that everybody paid their bill right then, because the pay-per-view companies would wait and pay the creator once they had collected all of the money from the subscriber. So
Right.
if I click the button at my house to order this pay-per-view for $35, but then I slow roll paying my cable system bill and I don't pay it for 2 months, then maybe 2 months after that is when ECW would get a check. So it could be 4 to 6 months later before they get paid. Now, a lot of people listening will say, well, what's the big deal? But there are real production costs with putting on a pay-per-view show. So you've got to, you know, pay for the satellite time. You've got to get the truck there. You've got to have lots of additional added layers to put on a live pay-per-view, in addition to the marketing and things like that. Well, most people would say, okay, well, just use that money from the live gate in order to pay those costs. And if you do, by the way, there's no money left to pay the boys. So the reason a lot of the guys started to get behind is because ECW started to get more successful. And I know that doesn't sound like that makes any logical sense, but if you have to pay for the expense of being on pay-per-view up front, and then you don't actually get any of that revenue for 4 to 6 months later, then some of these guys' checks are going to be delayed. And in the meantime, by the way, in order to compete with the WWF and WCW, you've got to run a touring schedule that really all the time wouldn't make sense. You know, so they would get everybody, you know, trains, planes, and automobiles, however they got them, to a remote location for a house show. And if 800 people are there, they probably lost money to run it. But if they didn't, at least on paper, offer the boys the opportunity to earn that payday, then they would go look to secure other employment. So you sort of lived and died by, I've just got to get to the next sellout, or I've just got to get to the next pay-per-view. And they started to come in with all these other ideas of income, like, man, this video game, if this just does, you know, 25% of what a WWE game does, will be great. But then the game sucks. Man, these action figures, if we can get, you know, just 10% of what the WWF does on these, this will be great. But then the figures aren't in all the stores. And so it just becomes one of those, we're trying to do what we can to come up with any sort of little extra stream of income. And for whatever reason, it's not a home run. By the way, that is Big Dick Hurts that you just saw. Oh, not catch Kid Cash and let him take a flat back on the goddamn concrete.
Big Dick Hurts, one of my favorite ring names. So basically, kind of what you're saying is it's like many companies have. It's a cash flow problem, basically. And
that's not to say that they couldn't afford to do it. They could on paper, but they didn't have a bankroll to just, you know, float them till the next show.
Right.
If Paulie had a traditional line of credit, maybe that would have worked. I mean, we know eventually he would get one. He certainly could go borrow money from Vince McMahon when he needed it. But realistically, making it work and making it a profitable business are two different things. Paulie was very successful in making sure they got to the next show, because he had to do whatever he could do to get to the next show.
Right.
But to say ECW was this wildly profitable venture was just not true. But that's been true for every wrestling promotion in the history of America. They've all went out of business except one, WWE. And I know AEW's here now, and we hope AEW's here to stay forever. And people have predicted the doom of a company like Impact, you know, since year one, since 2002. And yet here they are still plugging along. But Impact has not been wildly profitable. I mean, last year at different times, 3,000 people were watching them on TV when they were on the outdoor station, like 3,000 viewers. That's it. So obviously they've turned that around. They've got a much better cable deal now, but it does feel like they're sort of kind of starting over again.
Yeah. And I like it that they're there. And I've said this many times because I think guys who come out here like we're seeing right now, years ago, and even now to here in 2020, guys who come out and ladies who come out and put their lives on the line and their health and all these crazy bumps need a place to be able to make money. And that's why I think it's very important that not only WWE prosper, but AEW prospers and Impact and what other promotion would be out there.
No, I'm with it. I feel the same way. I'm a big fan of giving guys opportunities. And yeah, that's one of the things that I hate to see as a wrestling fan is when guys sort of online pile on AEW for something they didn't like, or perhaps they even pile on NXT. And with NXT, you know, since it's WWE owned, I get it, but I don't want to beat up on a developmental talent in NXT. Like, let's give them a chance to sort of get their feet underneath them. And by the way, they usually have some of the best wrestling on TV. But with AEW, for instance, the guys who, you know, are hardcore WWE loyalists and just get online and go, LOL AEW. It's just weird to me because, like, why would you want, if you're a wrestling fan, why would you want there to be less places for someone to work? Why would you want there to be less wrestling?
I kind of understand these people because let me tell you why. If you listen to us right now, if you're one of those people and you're listening to us that you just shit on everything, okay, here's the test. And the test is very simple. Walk to the mirror right now, look at yourself in the mirror, okay, and if you see a piece of shit looking back at you, then you know you're one of those people. It's a very simple test.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't realize you're a piece of shit, but then read some of the stuff you post online. And you'll say, oh, yeah, I'm a piece of shit. So I do understand. Who the hell is this?
Oh, that's Chris Chetty. That's Taz's cousin.
Okay.
He's begging to be Nova's tag team partner here.
Okay.
What do you think of Chris Chetty's look? I feel like this is, you know, like a Halloween costume you wore back in '79 when you were trying to pick up Lois.
Yeah, it does look like from the disco era, doesn't it? Kind of. Or it looks like, give me something to make me look like a poor man's Ric Flair.
Realistically, why do you think guys, I guess this is not just wrestling fans. It does feel like in society these days, we root for people's downfall. I feel like there's low key a lot of people who really want AEW to fail. And I just think that's weird. Like, how does that help anybody? How's that better for literally anybody?
Well, you do have to realize that some of those people are, it's kind of like reviews, you know, that you go online and you look at reviews, and I'm going to use this one. I mean, I know there's the Yellow Pages online now. I guess they're still out there, and there's Yelp. You can't really believe some of these reviews, you know? In other words, if you got two restaurants that are restaurants, sorry about that. You have two restaurants that are competing, and you have one restaurant go online and give the other restaurant bad reviews only to hurt their business. So I feel that it has well, hang on a second. My attention span has wandered away. In other words, I think that some of the things that you see online, some of the, wow, holy shit. That's where I want to be right now. Some of the things you see online are phony. Is it? Don't you think that's true?
What do you mean in terms of, you know, like bots or whatever?
Yeah, well, bots, or, you know, you can, I mean, anybody can get an email and come up with a phony name and work in somebody's front office and do it on their own. Say, you know what? I'm just going to shit on this promotion because I want my promotion to prosper. So bots. shoot, yeah, bots are true, and I understand that. I mean, I know that there are bots out there, but I sometimes I think that some people are legit. Like I said, look in the mirror, you're a piece of shit. Although you don't realize it now, look again. And
now I do think some of those negative reviews are accurate. Like if they're on there criticizing your performance, like we have no reason to believe that that's not true. I mean, you're phoning it in every week. You're just stealing money being there.
Well, there we go. Come on back to me. Chicken. Chicken.
You ever whack it in a wrestling show?
No.
Like you got there early, you had a lot of time to kill. Maybe you had a little nervous energy. Maybe you had a good run in at the old makeup chair. You ever feel like, man, I gotta go to my office, find a trash can, take care of business?
No.
Really?
Here we got some more guys running in. What the fuck?
Those are the dups. That's jacked up and bowed up and fucked up.
DUP?
DUPP.
So they just run in, and I don't think anybody really reacted to it, did they?
You don't like the dups?
Well, I don't think they got the pop that they wanted to get.
Well, they probably assumed, hey, the South, man, they're going to be with these guys in camouflage. It looks like they got a big chaw hanging out of their mouth.
Right. Come out of a deer blind. One
of these guys actually went on to have quite a run in the WWF.
Really?
No.
Who would that be?
One of them ran off with Jerry Lawler's wife, and I was making an
got it.
Shouldn't have. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person.
Yeah, that was but it was a run.
It wasn't bad until you made me. You were just a few.
Hold on a second.
Oh, you better now?
Yeah.
Man, how about high-waisted Jones? You know where we are in the era of just based on the high-waistedness. What do you think? Would you throw down a 20 spot for her?
No.
Really?
I don't do strip clubs.
I just mean if she said, "Hey, Mr. Schiavone, can I borrow $20?"
Oh yeah. I'd do that. Sure.
And what if she said, "Thank you, Mr. Ass. Here's my titties," and just, "Oh, look at this asshole. Here's Judge Jeff Jones." What do you think he's saying right now?
Yeah, he's trying to say, well, I'd just like to say that I'm the biggest pain in the ass around. I think I can run TV. I think I can run online. I can tweet. I can Facebook. I can produce TV. I can do it all. As a matter of fact, I sit in my room during AEW backstage and bitch about everybody, including Tony Schiavone. So Schiavone, here's the deal. I may sit beside you back in the social media room at AEW, but I don't like your ass. I like Mike Awesome. Because like Mike Awesome, I'm awesome. Did you know that? You know, I can do everything. I can do everything in wrestling except have a good haircut. And do you know that in 20 years, my gut is going to be 10 times bigger than yours? Mr. Schiavone, that's right. I'm going to turn into a fat ass. Check these earrings out. The side of my head, left side of my head. That's right. I'll be a fat ass without earrings. You will be an old fucker with earrings. And you'll sit beside me, and I'll end up texting people saying, "Can you believe Tony Schiavone sitting beside me? He's a piece of shit." That's right. He's a piece of shit. I always knew he's a piece of shit. That butts in the seat stuff, that was you. You destroyed WCW.
He really did a great
Something
job
like
with
that.
You did a great job with that.
Thank you. We do, guys, again, love Jeff Jones. No, I don't. Fuck you, Jeff. No, yeah, I do. I love Jeff Jones. No, I don't. Fuck you, Jeff. No, I'm kidding. I love Jeff. He's a good guy.
Mike Awesome is one of my absolute favorite wrestlers in this era. And looking back, I can say, boy, his promos were absolute dog shit. But
yeah.
All right, I'm going to play the audio here from Spike Dudley.
Tough guy. You're the world champion. You go knocking out girls' teeth. You got a problem. You got to deal with me. You got to deal with me on a pay-per-view. Main event. What?
Just start it over.
What? You think I'm fucking acting? You want me to do a fucking promo? be talking about? Get out! Mike, I'm gonna fucking hurt you.
I'm not doing a promo. I'm not acting. I'm gonna fucking hurt you. Good stuff. Oh, speaking of good stuff, here he is himself, Mr. Steve Corino, who we recently got to see in the world title picture. And with him, Yoshihiro Tajiri, one of the all-time greats. Here we're going to see Tajiri team up with Super Crazy to take on Jerry Lynn and Little Guido. Meltzer's going to say some real good wrestling here. Actually, the match was hurt by a meaningless double turn where first Guido turned on Lynn and then Tajiri turned on Crazy, and it ended up with Tajiri pinning Lynn after a brainbuster. He gives it 3 1/4 stars.
Honest question here. Has Dave Meltzer ever shit on any Japanese wrestling at all?
Yes.
He has.
Yes.
All right. It had to be few and far between.
Yes. Now, that being said, he's shitting a lot of, like, he likes a lot of New Japan. New Japan's probably his favorite promotion. And you guys have been accused of that a lot, you know, that, Dave Meltzer's on the payroll of AEW. That's not true. But, you know, well, it's back to that negative shit where people
again, if you've tweeted out Dave Meltzer's on payroll of AEW, again, here's a little test. Look into a mirror. You see a piece of shit looking back at you, that's you.
Well, hang on now. In fairness, we know for sure AEW employs pieces of shit. I mean, that's how you got your gig.
Yeah. Bring it back. Slap Tony around. He's the punching bag here. Well, treat him like a super crazy.
I like when you get excited.
Yeah, I just potential for a very good match here. Wait a minute.
Is it really?
Yep. Really? I don't know. Super effing crazy. Damn, I wish someone would come around and slap your hand and we could see it. It's like they go to one corner, they go to another corner. Here they're coming towards you, Conrad. Come on, turn. We're close.
There I was.
Did we miss you? I didn't see you. Where were you wearing?
I don't know. I think I was wearing a blue long sleeve sweater gimmick. Standing next to Lynn from Hershey. He's got on like a white sweater and maybe like a bucket fishing hat or something. That's me right there, bottom left.
Oh, okay. I see you. Well, very cool.
Hey, so it's my wife's birthday. You got any advice? I mean, by the time you're listening to this, it's a little later, but you got any advice about wives' birthdays? Can you drop some old man knowledge on us here?
I think you should have her leave the house for go out and have it like go to a spa. And while she's at the spa, make it an all-day thing, nails, pedicure, facial, massage. While she's at there, you should have a painter come in and paint one of the rooms gray.
Okay. See, if you were on Patreon, you would get the reference, but none of our listeners here listen to that.
Conrad's house, the Conrad Edison, which was very colorful at one time, is now all gray. The rooms are gray because that's the fashionable color, as we know, for homes these days.
I thought I had a pretty nice house. Turns out I was wrong. Needed a lot more gray.
Well, happy birthday, Megan. The stuff that she puts up with.
She puts up with.
Oh, I was talking about when she was growing up. I'm sorry.
It's what I have to put up with.
Okay. I didn't mean that she has to put up with your shit. I meant when she was a kid, all that stuff, being the kid of a wrestler and, stuff like that. I'm good. So here's Steve Corino. I wonder if he's talking about how much he loves Terry Taylor.
I doubt it.
Maybe. Okay.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah. I wonder if anybody's ever done that, right?
No, not that I can think of.
Corino was a great performer, though, but no denying that. And he'd be a guy, if I ran a wrestling company, I would probably hire Steve Corino. to beat the fuck out of Terry Taylor.
I think he listens to our show as well.
Carino does?
So we got that going for us.
Carino's a baseball guy.
Yeah.
Big baseball guy.
I think he considers himself a Tony Schiavone fan.
Oh, well, good.
I mean, not what you're doing now. You know, nobody.
I get that. Well, that's good. And Steve, do me a favor. Just next time you're backstage at in one of your shows, Terry Taylor turns his head, just whack him in the back of the head and say, "That's from Schiavone."
Oh, I thought you were going to say next time you're backstage at one of your shows, put in a good word for me. The jig is almost.
Listen. Don't go there, fucker.
Whoa.
Okay, yeah, don't go there, fucker, because I'm happy.
Dude,
here we go.
You're being very rude.
Oh, hey, full-blooded Italians from Italy.
Italy. By the way, it's Matt Coon walking to the ring. He's bottom bunk, top bunk, of course, Little Guido. And by the way, Little Guido, that's not completely accurate. He wore a size 17 shoe.
You know what they say
about big shoes?
Yes, they do.
Big feet.
Exactly. How many referees do we have in this match?
All of them.
What's the storyline here?
I'll play a little audio here for Guido.
Dare you not pick me? Everybody knows Little Guido is the #1 draft pick for this tag match. Well, that's a darn shame, Guido, because as the most powerful man in Extreme Championship Wrestling, I pick what the match is. You're gonna pick my match? Oh, yes, I am. Quite a quandary you're in, Guido, not having a partner for this one.
You should pick Big Sal.
You need to get it. He needs to get it. Just like these millions of people need to get it. I call the shots around here. You ain't calling the shots around here.
You may have to call him in for a meeting, Joey.
That's who calls the shots around here. Can we get a camera on Paul Heyman? There's the owner and executive producer.
Excuse me, dickhead.
That's our boss.
Yeah, nice example.
Call the shots around here. You call the shots around here. No, Steve Corino. Birmingham, Alabama knows. I call the shots around here.
Heyman is psychotic when he gets a microphone in his hand. Look at him.
Now you want to go and screw up everybody's plans, and you want to pick as Tajiri's partner, Super Crazy. That is one hell of a fucking idea. But Mr. Corino, you are oh so wrong, because Little Guido does have a partner tonight. Hey, don't keep on clapping at me, Sal. I know you got the clap. Stand there and shut the fuck up. Little Guido's partner tonight. Since you want to choose Tajiri's, I'll pick Little Guido. And Little Guido's partner tonight, if it's all right with Birmingham, Alabama,
Jerry Lynn.
So there you go. Little Guido. Wow. Jerry Lynn coming in here, and we've got still a ring full of referees here. I like seeing Paul Lee do a little mic work.
Oh, I do too, because he's tremendous. And not only that, what a pop he got when he came out, huh?
Absolutely. They were ready for him. And Jerry Lynn has been a ECW favorite going back since, I don't know, probably the beginning of 99. So he's had a great little 1 year run here, where he has been deemed the new fucking show.
There you are. No, it wasn't you. Whew.
Why would you say that was me?
I know, it was a big guy, and then all of a sudden I noticed I had blonde hair. So.
Come on now. You're just being hurtful.
I know you like blondes, but you weren't blonde back in the day.
I don't really like it like that.
Okay. I mean, your wife is blonde, and you always thought that blonde. You and I have talked about this. You thought that the prettiest girls are blonde girls.
No, I don't. And I know, son. My eyes work.
Okay. And I always thought the prettiest were brunettes. And that's just the difference between you and me. It's not that I don't think that there are not beautiful blonde women out there. There are. But to me, the most beautiful women in the world are like that.
I love that. Literally, when you said that, we heard Lois's text message come through. I love you.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the house, she was like, shut the fuck up. I love you.
She does that a lot. Shut the fuck up.
I love you.
Which, can I ask you this?
Yes, please.
The Conradison is a big house, big, gigantic house.
Whatever that means.
Okay, it is. So I was wondering that, because Lois and I were talking about this the other day. We do this a lot now. Instead of calling out each other's name, do you just text each other in the house?
No.
We do all the time.
Really?
Yeah. I'm up in the bat cave and she's down in the kitchen, or she's over in the bedroom, or maybe she's in her sewing room in the basement, and we'll just text each other back and forth instead of actually. Yeah, we do a lot of that.
No, I mean, listen,
hey, I need to shut off.
When I'm taping with my co-host here, she and I will text, but why would we? I mean,
well, maybe it's an age thing. Maybe it's that or a lazy thing that we just don't want to get up and go talk to each other. It used to be she would shout, "What do you want for dinner?" And I would shout back, "I don't know. What are you going to order?" But now she just sends me a text. And she says, "What do you want for dinner?" And I say, "My daughter and my wife are texting back and forth. Talk amongst yourself just for a second, okay? Say something nice about me."
All right. Tony Schiavone is a real piece of shit. Hear him every Wednesday. Well, whenever he feels like showing up live on TNT, you can hear him call Current Wrestling, or at least say, "That's right, JR." Exactly, Excalibur. But if you want to hear him call wrestling the good old fashioned way, fire up your WWE network and watch some old WCW, where he will try to convince you that every time Evan Courageous had a match, it was the greatest night in the history of our great sport. Of course, we know different. And I guess really I'm just as guilty of that, because I'm forcing everyone to watch ECW from the year 2000, where everyone knew, at least in wrestling, that the promotion was dead, except for the boys in the ring and the marks in the building.
Okay, I'm back. Did you talk well about me?
Absolutely. I put you over, put you over real strong.
I know I could depend on you. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome, buddy.
I really appreciate it. Okay. So, Jerry Lynn, one of the great guys in wrestling.
Without question.
Without question. And one of the great performers. And again, another one of these kids who did a lot of crazy bumps back in the day, and certainly is later in life, his body's paying for it, but he's kicked out, and he's doing quite well, I should say, and a good buddy and a good performer. Well, I'm glad you talked well about me, Conrad. Thank you. Anyway, we were talking about texting, and I had to turn off this text.
We should also mention that you and I have a big show coming up right here in Huntsville, Alabama. You know, since we're talking about homegrown stuff, since this is an ECW show from Alabama, we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a ha-ha here next month. You should come check us out. It's February 5th at Stand Up Live. You'll be doing a live broadcast on cable for wrestling that Wednesday. And then right afterwards, just a couple of blocks from it, Stand Up Live, yourself, Jim Ross, myself. Sounds like a good time to me.
Sounds like a great time, and I can't wait to be able to sit down with you and JR, and not only that, be able to meet some of the fans and talk to them. We do it up close and personal, as the old cliche goes. But also, I want to say something about Stand Up Live. I've been there a number of times. What a great venue that is.
I think so too.
It really, really is a top flight comedy club.
I like it. And by the way, great people there. The rumor and innuendo is a great close personal friend of the show. Cassio Kid might be there as well.
Well, I hope he brings Big Booty Judy without her snakes and her tarantula.
Well, I don't know that you know this, but her New Year's resolution this year was to travel with her pets more.
Really?
I mean, she's already she's got the bearded dragon on a goddamn leash. It's real. Not making that up. So
that's one weird woman.
Well, she married Cassio. What? Clearly she's not all there. You know what I mean? Like,
I get that.
I love her, but goddamn, married
I'm with
an adult baby.
I know.
What do you think of this ECW show so far?
I'm enjoying some of the things they're doing.
You're trying to be nice. And I appreciate it.
No, I like to Jerry, and I love Jerry Lynn, as you know. Super crazy. I was kind of got into his stuff because we've seen his stuff before. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with out of a tilt-a-whirl temple, a tilt-a-whirl slam to just go right into just a arm bar.
No, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
You want to call some action here? I know it's been a long time since you've been able to really call wrestling. You want to take a step?
No, I don't want to call any action. I have to charge you for it under contract,
You don't do it there either.
Why do I just lob them softballs to you? Just here comes a comment. Okay, I'm gonna underhand this one to you. Here it goes. Ready? Whoa, shit. He knocked that one way out of the park. All right, here, try this one. Here comes kaboom. Whoa. It's kind of like the baseball home run derby games on video games. Kaboom.
Hey, you and I didn't talk about this, but what did you think about the big Florida Bowl win? I know you hate Florida.
Mm-hmm. Fuck them.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a pretty fun game though. What about, we didn't talk about this either. Oklahoma just getting it fucking ran up in them by LSU.
Wow.
What's the last time you saw a beatdown like that? 63 points LSU put on them.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible.
And what's really fascinating to me about this is that Oklahoma is now 0-3 in the playoffs. 0-3. You gonna give JR any shit about that? If you ever go to another show? I know sometimes, I know you hadn't been to a show in a long, long time, but.
No, I decided not to get him, give him any shit. Cause he and I talked about it going into the game against LSU that,
he knew they were going to lose.
Well, yeah, he said this could be ugly, and he was right.
Well, I'm not that friend. I'm an absolute dickhead, probably to the surprise of no one listening. Mm-hmm. So I was there for him, and I texted him right before kickoff and said, "Good luck, buddy." And then like 2 hours later, I hit him with a text and said, "Beat the traffic." At that point, they were up like 5 touchdowns, and it's like, man, I see you on TV. What we used to do? I mean, you need a ride. You're Jim Ross. Just go outside and wave that hat around. Somebody will come rescue you from this bullshit.
Yeah, it was not a good day for him.
Yeah,
but that's okay. You know what? You love your team. Unless you're like me, a Washington Redskins fan, then you get to the point to where you're really hating your team. But you love your team, thick or thin. Meanwhile, the fans going nuts for someone coming off the top away from in the chant of ECW. Fuck what's going on in the ring.
It is
well,
quite the scene here.
Yeah. Well, he is
Sam.
super crazy.
Look at there. Look at the young Sam from Atlas Security.
Yeah, I see him backing people away there. Wow, 20 years ago, Conrad. Where has he gone, man?
Brawling through the crowd has always been one of my favorite things about ECW.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the things that made him unique. Meanwhile, I got some good shit going on in the ring. These two guys can really get it. Watch. I always wondered about and of course, whoa, fuck. That had to hurt. Power bombed him, but I mean, snapped him down. I always wondered, I think we've talked about this before, the communication in the ring that you need and how difficult it may have been when you speak two different languages. Oh, look at the Jerry. Woo! Oh, some good shit going on here, guys. I guess you knew terms and things like suplex. I don't know.
How about that with the bridge, man?
Yeah.
Pulling out all the stops here.
Yeah, they are. They're doing a hell of a job. It's kind of funny. They, once the other guys got on the outside and the fans were going crazy with that, the two guys in the ring, man, they kicked it in high gear.
What's the big leftover in this holiday season at your house?
Well, since we didn't have anything at all, I was kind of disappointed this year. This is the first time in my life that we did not have a Christmas tree.
Wait a minute. What?
We did not have a Christmas tree at our house.
Why not?
Because we celebrated Christmas Eve at my daughter's house, Laurie. We celebrated Christmas Day at Chris's house. The day after Christmas, we were back at Laurie's. And the day after that, we were back at Laurie's again. So we spent all of our holidays, we spent somewhere else instead of our house. So we have this gigantic Christmas tree, and we just decided that we're not going to put up one since we weren't celebrating Christmas at our house for the first time ever. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, but it's stupid. And in hindsight, you regret it, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was, with the exception of what made it great was didn't have to take down a tree. That's always good. But no, we didn't have a tree, and it's the first time in my entire life we didn't have one. So needless to say, we didn't have a tree. We didn't have any leftovers. My daughter's house, there was plenty of honey baked ham left over.
Honey baked ham sucks.
It does not.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. No. That's a goddamn Southern tradition.
Yeah, but it's not any good.
And then at Chris's house, we had plenty of turkey left over.
That means he didn't make it worth the shit.
No, I mean, Lois made it. She went over there and made it. So it was great turkey.
So it wasn't worth the shit. Hey, so let's talk about this. When it comes to cranberry sauce, tell me how the Schiavones do that.
Well, we do two kinds. We do the kind that I like without the berries in the shape of the fucking can.
Yep, that's the only way.
That's the only way. Lois likes the berries. I'm thinking, what the fuck?
The berries.
Yeah, you can have the berries in the gel. You know what I'm talking about. The cranberry. I don't want a berry. I want the goop.
That shit.
Yeah, I want the goop, man.
The goop.
I want the goop. So there was plenty of that. There was plenty of macaroni and cheese left over because we love macaroni and cheese. And
Well, if you love it, why was there so much left over?
because we have a big family and we always make too much food.
I got you. Consumer.
That's the thing about the holidays. Just too much food.
Boy, you're just hating life.
No, I like life. I just my life has changed so much that I'm just kind of disappointed about it. So now Guido turns on Lynn. Comes in a big hug from Steve Corino, that son of a bitch. Who's the guy on the right with the blue shirt? Is that Big Dick Hurts again?
That's Wildfire Tommy Rich, you motherfucker.
Well, shit, Tommy pretty big back then, wasn't he?
He's been over like Rover for a long time.
Well, Tommy, somebody say something about Schiavone not knowing my name.
My goodness.
Sorry about that, Tommy.
We'll play the audio here.
Dusty Rhodes!
What? Corino just got a thing with that guy.
You're not a fat, old, beat up, washed up piece of garbage like the American dream, Dusty Rhodes!
When will Steve Corino ever learn?
Here comes the bull of the woods,
And
Joey.
when Dusty Rhodes was here, I would kick his ass like I did last time!
Bionic elbow, Joey. There goes victory to Jerry Tommy Rich. It's like watching a pinball game.
He's been doing it for years with a lot of success. Gonna drop the big one.
The most electrifying move in the history of sports entertainment. The Dream's elbow.
And that's about a 330-pound elbow dropped across Tommy Rich's chest.
It's Rhino. It's the rookie monster Rhino. Rhino laid out the Dream. Corino's rookie monster Rhinos attack the American Dream.
You know what? I mean, I'm a big fan of Corino and Rhino, but no one likes to see a legend get laid out like that. Corino's got Dusty's hat.
So what do you think? A little surprise run-in action of Dusty Rhodes in Birmingham. Rhino gets the heat on him. Locker room clears out of baby faces. Corino takes off with Dusty's hat. This is good stuff, is it not?
Oh yeah, I like it. I was like, whoa, when I when I saw him show up. But also I was carefully looking at the fan reaction. Since we're in Birmingham, a lot of fans had a great reaction. There's some fans who are like, no, we're ECW. We don't want any WCW guys here. Did you get that too?
Well, yeah, you certainly had
Yeah.
sort of the newer school, you know, we don't want the legends. We want the young guys. But dude, Dusty was at his classic Dusty right there. And
Oh yes, he was.
Paul Lee in there to check on him. This is good stuff.
Yeah, they brought out the entire locker room, it looked like, to check on him. Which is, yeah, that's good stuff. Really, really well done. And I'm sure Dusty never showed up until he got paid first.
He's just business, baby.
That's right. You're not gonna get the American Dream coming from Atlanta. And when I get there, you got a check that's gonna clear. Cashier
Paulie, I
check
ain't
with
about
money.
no bullshit. All right. Now I'm gonna need my money in folding bills. You hear me? Hand it to me, the folding money. I don't want none of that jingles. Better not be no ink on there. Don't want to see your signature nowhere near my money. I heard about that bullshit you've been pulling on little Guido. Big Dust, they gonna put up with that shit.
Oh God.
Is he in your Mount Rushmore?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he is. For many reasons. I mean, we talked about different Mount Rushmores. Wait a minute. He's coming over towards you. Come on. Keep that camera on him.
He didn't make it that far.
Yeah, he didn't make it that far. So anyway, there are different Mount Rushmores. There are Mount Rushmores of workers. There are Mount Rushmores of who are over. The Mount Rushmores of guys who could do promos. But yeah, he's on my Mount Rushmore. And okay, we're in the stairwell here. What are we gonna do?
What do you mean? What are we gonna do? We're gonna cut a promo from New Jack.
I thought maybe somebody's giving somebody a blowjob back there in the stairwell. Not that I've ever seen a blowjob in a stairwell or anything like that. But
have you? Was that something that happened a lot in WCW?
No, not that I was, not that I knew, not that I heard about.
Walk back there and.
No. What was I talking about?
About how you like to get head during commercial.
No.
What?
I just thinking that of my life, how fortunate I was to have known Dusty and worked closely with him. It's kind of like me being able to work with for a number of years after I left wrestling with Skip Carey and Pete Van Wieren of the Braves and Don Sutton, and then go on to work with Larry Munson, the voice of the Dogs, before he passed away. I was very fortunate to be able to work with legends in their own business. And I feel very fortunate about that. I really do.
And, let's not forget, you're burying the lead here. You got to work with me.
There you go. But then again, you're, all those guys are dead.
Right.
You're not.
Yet.
Well, no, I mean, everybody's time is going to come, but you got a lot more to go.
But at this weight,
at least
mine's going to come before a lot.
At least I hope you got a lot more to go.
There's New Jack wearing it out. Mm-hmm. I love these. He said, kiss your fat wife goodbye, because New Jack's going to tear you apart. Dude, what a great. I love him.
Something else, man. Certainly a unique person.
He had some of the best promos ever. I'll never forget there was this one promo that felt like it just went on and on and on. And he was like, I beat your ass. I don't play no games. I don't play no pity patty. I beat your ass. I beat your ass till I can't beat your ass no more. I beat your ass till I get tired. Then I beat you some more. Just on and on and on about how I beat your ass. It was great. Beat your ass. And unfortunately, the matches weren't, because there's no music here. The Baldies coming out here. Tony DeVito in the middle, big friend of the show, regular listener. On the right is Angel. That's going to be New Jack's opponent. And on the left, I think that's Vic Grimes, who New Jack is going to try to kill one day. And yes, that is a pizza cutter around his neck, because he's going to cut you up.
Oh my God. And he's really going to probably use it.
Oh yeah.
Or is it just, oh my God.
How about the jack off motion where he then spider webs the results? What do you think of that move?
Well, trying to keep it real.
Have you Spider-Man'd before?
No.
I've always felt like you would be like a monkey in your cage at your house. Cause you've told us before that Lois won't give you any, and that you guys have hallway sex. Do you want to explain what that is?
Yeah. That's when we walk by each other in the hallway and say, fuck you.
So I just assume that when you're in the back cave, you're probably pulling up small Whitney Wright videos, just wearing yourself out. And then she walks by, and like a monkey at the zoo, instead of him flinging poo, you're flinging goo. And I think Tony flung goo. It's not just a dish at your favorite Asian restaurant. It's also.
That's sure at LoisRules.com. Oh God.
I guess we can tell the truth. I mean, that's the reason, WCW went under, as there were so many, cases of you waka, 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 and then just throwing it at the Nitro girls as they walk by.
Jesus Christ.
What?
You have, it's a new low for you.
What did I do now?
Yeah. Tony killed the business. Tony's a shitty announcer. Tony is a suck up. Tony's a piece of shit. But now Tony's a fucking degenerate dirtbag flinging cum.
Well, I didn't say it like that. You just made it sound real bad. You made it sound like real bad.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh.
And it wasn't real bad.
Yeah, jeez. Speaking of, look at this, man. Holy shit. That would just scare the fuck out of me. Knowing his reputation, seeing him come to the ring with all that shit.
Yeah. As well it should, man. He'd stab a motherfucker. One of the all-time greats. I wish you could have been there to see him. I know a lot of people are going to laugh when I say that, but being at an ECW show when he was doing his thing, man, it was fucking cool.
Oh yeah. And you can better believe it could be some blood here, isn't it? What the fuck is that? He just, okay. Oh God. Let's see. What's this? This is a staple gun? No. Oh, it's a cheese shredder. Oh, fuck.
It's a what now?
A cheese shredder. See, cheese has 2 E's in it.
I like the way you're doing that.
Cheese shredder.
That's pretty cool the way you're doing that.
Thank you. For an old pervert that flings cum, not too bad, huh?
I really can't believe you're talking like that. You know, we're trying to do good, clean show here. And you're,
yeah, really? Our show's clean.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention someone, I saw someone recently describe your weekly visit on Patreon as lifeless. And it really made me happy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you have a weekly visit on Patreon and bring some life into it, fucker?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it made me happy because they clearly listen to the show and know that Lois has just sucked the life out of you. And not in a good way, not in like a Francine, Steve Corino kind of way, but just like, you know, well, my life is over. Yeah, I'm here, guys. Yeah, she's downstairs. Yeah, wrestling. Please kill me now. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking on Patreon, you should do some raps.
Some rats?
Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, I think that would be, I mean, everybody's heard about the button.
Okay.
Speaking of the button, did we ever tell everybody about the very special present you got at your birthday party back in November? Cause I don't think that the button was discussed.
No, we got a plaque, and Dave Silva was holding a plaque close to him, and I'm thinking, those nice guys got me a plaque. Isn't that nice? I wonder what the inscription's going to say. And then the little fucker turned it around, and it was a button on a fur coat.
You didn't like that?
No, I thought it was very thoughtful. And Lois said, "You're not going to put that up in the room, are you?" I said, "Yeah, of course I am. It's part of the charm of my friends." So yeah, I got the button on a fur coat on a wooden plaque.
On a wooden plaque.
Mm-hmm. Nicely done.
Isn't that great?
Great. Awesome.
I feel like you're not telling the truth.
No, I know. I really, gosh, hey, Conrad, that was one of the biggest days of my life.
Well, it's nice to hear.
It was. I've never had a birthday party ever, even when I was younger.
And now that you're very, very old, you know, each one could be the last one.
That's right. Let's get him one before he goes. This is over in the Conrad Thompson section here.
Let's see if we can see me here.
They're walking away from you now. I think I saw you right when they tumbled over in there.
Man, I love New Jack. And by the way, what a great gimmick he had. Hey, I'm going to just come down to the ring while they blare rap music, and I'm just going to bring a trash can of weapons, and I'm just going to hit you with all of it. So if you'll just sell them all, that'd be good.
Sell them all. That'd be good. And if you don't, we'll make sure you do the hard way. Haven't seen much blood here yet.
Oh, don't you worry.
Hook.
I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited about this week's Tony Reed's rap. Do you want me to give you a preview?
Oh God, I was hoping you forgot about that.
Listen, if you want to make that a New Year's resolution, we can make this the last one if you'd like.
Well, no, because you get pissed off at me.
No. Well, this show's about you, buddy. It's not about
you
me.
shame me. And
I shame you.
Yeah. Try to make me feel bad. We had something good going. Fans loved it. You shit on it. You know.
No, I won't do that. We'll just do what you want to do. Next week.
No, see.
Next week we'll do show tunes.
I could have danced all night. I could have danced all night and still have begged for more. See, isn't that nice?
I'm for it. So next week, Tony does show tunes.
No.
What?
What rap song you got for me?
Well, I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh, see.
I'm still working on it.
Okay. Oh boy, they're promoting the Acclaim Hardcore Revolution video game here, aren't they? Big time. Oh, and they lost the sign. Put that sign back up.
It's the most WCW thing ever, is it not?
It really is. Put that sign back. Fuck, crazy motherfucker. There's just no way. No way that you can do that bump and not hurt yourself. What? Yikes. There we go.
Try to call this.
Left hands. He's bleeding profusely. New Jack into the stands. Who's he wrestling again?
Nick Grimes.
Nick Grimes. Here's a look at him once again. Oh, that stupid motherfucker. What's he thinking? He's going to kill the business.
Vic Grimes is who took the table bump. That's Angel dragging him around by the nape of the neck.
Okay. Wow. It's like everybody else, but New Jack is bleeding here. New Jack may have internal injuries. Yeah. I guess so.
So, what's new on your New Year's resolutions list?
I want to lose some more weight.
Okay.
I kind of like, lost 50 pounds and then I gained 3 of it back. Went from 219 to 222. I want to get down below 200 or around 200. So I want to do that. I'm also going to buy a bicycle.
Okay.
And I'm going to ride on the trail again. Right over in Alabama.
Okay.
On the Silver Comet Trail. And that's about it. Oh, I want to do some improvements on the house. Don't know if I'll be able to or not.
Why not?
Pay off bills, obviously, that's first. And I'm doing that. I'm very happy to say I'm doing that. So that's about it. Maybe get some pussy.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't know if that'll happen.
Who's going to be the victim?
Well, it's got to be Lois, and I just don't know if she's,
Wait. Who decided it's got to be Lois?
Well, I did.
Okay.
Unless there's somebody else you have in mind.
I love you.
Is there somebody else? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you talked to Whitney. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, I can line that up. She's single now.
You're teasing me now.
No, I'll hit her up right in front of you right now. I mean, I was texting with her. She signed up for a Patreon, Tony. And I immediately texted her and said, "What are you doing? I get you a comp, girl. You can't be out here having to work hard for the money to pay for your Tony Schiavone fix. I got you."
Oh my God.
What?
Also a New Year's resolution for 2020, that my marriage will end, which is where it looks like we're starting that early here now. Ugh. What are you doing to me?
Making your life much better.
Yeah, that's true.
And one of my things I've done this past year to make your life better is we see Rob Van Dam there with the brand new television championship. And by the way, I still think that's maybe the best looking ECW belt they ever made. If you get to see one of those in person, it's really something else. I like it better than the world title. The tag belt was cool looking, but I just think this one on its own, the best one they had. And Fonzie's got new teeth now, which as you can see here,
he needed them.
Yeah, he's probably ready for an upgrade, but it was one of his character traits that made him identifiable. So now if you meet him with like the new good Bruce Pritchard style teeth, you're like, well, who the fuck is that?
Okay. Now, hang on here. You mean to tell me that Fonzie let his teeth go to shit because that was part of his character?
No, I'm saying it was identifiable.
Oh, okay.
So I guess we should mention, because we didn't really talk about it right there, but, the Angel New Jack match got a 1.25 stars. Meltzer would say this was exactly what every New Jack match is. A lot of bad looking brawling, but a lot of debris, loud music, little selling, and a balcony dive through a table. Big Grimes and Tony DeVito were interfering a lot. Grimes took the balcony dive and was also suplexed nearly on his head on the floor. Jack stapled DeVito, but Angel then hit Jack with a shovel. Not very hard, but I guess it's better that he didn't. Pinned him 1.25 stars. So I think it's funny that he's like, oh, he didn't hit him very hard.
Did New Jack ever get pissed off about Dave Meltzer's critiques?
I'm sure New Jack gave one fuck.
Yeah.
I also want to mention the staple shot. I mean, people are looking at the staple gun stuff now, or looked at it last year in 2019, like, oh, no, that was happening back then. Now, interesting here, because you see Rob Van Dam and Sabu have been tag team champions and tag team partners for a lot of years, going back to their respect match. I guess it was early 96. Well, now tonight that's coming to an end because they're going one-on-one, and Fonzie, who's been both of their managers, he's promising to call it right down the middle, daddy. And the gimmick is for the TV title, and Sabu says he would leave ECW if he didn't win. And Meltzer's going to say there's tons of very dangerous and often sloppy moves in this match. And, a little Easter egg. Van Dam's wife, Sonia, who was badly injured over the summer in a jet ski accident, was at ringside of her first live show, and they showed her on camera constantly. You can't fault the effort, but it was still like every Sabu Van Dam match where the crowd ends up being dead from the abundance of moves and lack of psychology, and it gets worse the longer it gets. Sabu was clearly beaten up badly as he was moving slowly on every spot. They portrayed Bill Alfonso as being two-faced for trying to play both sides. Finally, he held the chair and wouldn't give it to either man, so Van Dam kicked the chair in his face with the Van Daminator. Sabu goes for the triple jump moonsault, but Van Dam protects himself with the chair, which Sabu landed on. Frog splash. There you go. 2.5 stars. But it is an entertaining match, especially from my perspective live. 2.5 stars. I understand the criticism that there are going to be some missed moves, but when you're taking this many risks, I kind of expected that. And when you're as beaten up as Sabu has been, I mean, this is a guy who at this point has given his body to wrestling for the better part of 7 years in a crazy way, going back to when he would first sort of get on the landscape for breaking tables with himself. You know, back in the day, they weren't gimmicking tables. They were just real folding tables. And instead of the opponent laying on it, being ready to go through it, nobody was willing to take that. So he would just moonsault on it himself over and over until it broke, and just crushing his knees and hips. And you just can't imagine the amount of pain that must have been. Of course, in time, they got shittier tables and guys were willing to take the bumps. That's not the case.
Jeez.
What is the case, though, is that Rob Van Dam is perceived as the biggest star in ECW at this point. And I don't think incorrectly. The fans have been with him for a long time. He's held that television title since April of 1998. Here we are in January of 2000. Pretty remarkable. Still to come after this one, though, we've got 2 other title matches. We've got the ECW tag titles on the line, where Raven and Tommy Dreamer, who have been feuding since the beginning of ECW, are now unlikely tag team partners, having won those belts from the Dudleys on their last night back in August. They're going to defend them against Justin Credible and Lance Storm. And then in our main event, Spike Dudley, believe it or not, is going to challenge Mike Awesome for the world title. And of course, we've got some real heat on that after we saw Mike Awesome knock out Spike Dudley girlfriend's front teeth. What the fuck? So we've got a little bit of time in this match, Tony, and I've decided to key up an oldie but a goodie for Tony Reed's rap. It's Rick Ross's Hustlin' from way back, I believe, 2006. And I think you'll be really, really pleased with this one. I've changed some of the graphics or the lyrics around a little bit because everybody knows you're not hustling. That's not what you're into. You're into tussling.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds like it's got some potential.
And the lyrics are in your inbox, and I'm going to drop that funky beat. Are you ready?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready to tussle, and
here we go.
Every day I'm tussling, tussling, tussling. Every day I'm 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 tussling, tussle real hard, tussle real hard, tussle real hard, tussle real hard. Holy fuck. Didn't take much to write these fucking lyrics, did it? Tussle every day I'm, hold up. Who you haters think you're talking to? I'm the fucking boss. White on white, Ford Edge, never get lost. You snuck that one in there, didn't you? Haters get lost. I'm in the air. I don't hear Mark's corny raps. Yeah, brother, Tone is back. That brother Tone is back. I got a honey bun, but no, not a chick. I got a honey bun. Millions player. I got a couple of hundred of them. 99 problems, prick. Don't become the 100th one. Lest you got 100 lives, murder about 100. We don't resort to violence. We on resorts and islands with linen shorts and shades, case they thought you were lying. My Louis slippers, polo top, linen shorts so my balls don't get hot. Ha ha. Yeah, I balls a lot. Now I own the team. Tony Khan, all elite, I owns the scene. Stop playing with me, lames, y'all not my equal. It ain't no coincidence that my age is a kilo, which means I'm a Porto, which means I'm a Gordo, which means that I use a Ford Edge like an auto. I'm walking normal. I'm a walking memorial. I'm sorry. I got tears in my eyes here. Hang on. I'm a walking memorial. I'm legendary for whipping that hard. So Mark, just let that cause go. Hey, let's go, snowman bitch. I don't even wear the same draws. Flat screens on my walls. Floors look like bowling balls. I know big dust, the real big dust. It's over for you clowns. Soon as my marks hit them streets, I see you riding, homie, but that ain't hard enough. You know me, I might pull up in an armored truck. I stack big faces, square white pillow cases. I got a dirty mouth, but my kicks is clean. Them folks riding hit the pots and the triple beams. Hit the Dodge spot. I must have copped 6 Magnums. You can't see the fact. Okay, it's kind of like we got words running together here on what you sent me. But I'll continue. I'll make it through. They come across the border. I'm fulfilling y'all the Tesseros ride like I'm on a coaster ride. 2 million records sold, and I'm still talking white shit. I'm whipping the case like I'm whipping the bass. Look at daddy in the face. Now tell me, how good does it taste? Noah Schiavone. I'm the Dow Jones, down south where them D-boys ground zones. We never steal cars. What I'm putting miles on, 30 feet, it costs a couple $100,000. And that's all I got.
What'd you think of tussling?
Man, it's like the first 30 lines were just tussling.
I mean, that's what you're about. You're about that tussle life.
Yeah, I am. And boy, there's a lot of tussle availabilities out there. If I would have been able to tussle with China, I would have sold that like an auctioneer, man.
You'd have put her over?
Oh. Yes, I would have. I put them all over.
Well, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, our last Tony Reads rap. Put your hands together. All good things must come to an end. And that will put a bow on Tony Reads rap.
No, wait a minute. We're not. No. We're going to do it on a weekly basis, aren't we? Or are we going to do show tunes? I don't. Hey, you're the brains behind all this. I'm just the gimmick.
I understand.
So it's whatever you want to do.
Okay. Talk to everybody about what you're seeing here.
Sliding drop kick and right over to the front row. We haven't given a time code, have we, in this show yet?
Go ahead. Tell everybody where you are.
138.51, 52, 53. Here he comes, hitting the ropes, lifting off the chair, top rope, and down over the top. And fans going nuts now. Yikes. See how they're moving the camera there? They're not giving a steady shot. They're just moving the camera kind of back and forth. That's pretty cool.
You like this?
Yeah, I do. I really appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate camera guys and camera work and non-gimmick tables and Atlas Security. Fonzie had a Birmingham, Alabama shirt on. Did they sell Birmingham, Alabama ECW shirts that night? Or did he just find us something that said Birmingham?
That was custom for him.
Okay. So when you left you said earlier that it doesn't play as well as it did back when you were, holy shit. What the fuck? It doesn't play as well as back when you saw it. When you left there that night, you probably were saying, this is fucking great.
Oh, it
right?
was great. No, it was a great live experience. I'm just saying it's one of those things that doesn't stand up to the test of time or whatever. It doesn't age well.
But I'm sure, again, it gets, anybody who goes to these events, like when people go to our AEW events, they're having a great time. You have a great time at these live events. Yeah. You really do. I mean, you can sit back and criticize all you want, depending on what side of the aisle you're on, but I just know everyone has a great time when they go to live events normally, unless you go to the Finger Poke of Doom. Then you probably didn't have a good time there.
That, I do want to ask, a lot of fans were critical of the Lana, Bobby Lashley wedding last week on Raw. And, they even did it with an overrun. What do you think?
Didn't see it. I'm all for it if it's a good storyline. If it's worth the investment into it. Why were they critical of it? Because it was a biracial marriage? Was that it?
No.
Fuck.
No one cares about that.
Some people still do, unfortunately.
No, I think they were down on it because it sucked.
Okay. Well, then I didn't see it because, and probably I would have agreed that did it have it? Has it furthered a Bobby Lashley Rusev angle?
So here's the deal.
All right.
A guy comes out and says that he objects to the wedding.
Okay.
Because he's Lana's first husband. And then she left him for Rusev. And now she's left Rusev for Bobby, and Bobby's next. And then a lady came out and said, I fell in love with Bobby in the military, and now look what he's done to me, blah, blah, blah. And so in both cases, Bobby attacks the first husband, she attacks Bobby's girl. And then, Liv Morgan comes out and teases Bobby is leaving her and she's really in love with him. She can't believe he's doing this, but she doesn't say she just says, I can't believe you're doing this. And of course the big reveal is, she's actually talking about Lana. And so the crowd goes nuts thinking, oh, we've got some HLA. We've got some old, ECW angle with, with, Beulah and Kimona Wanalea and the whole deal with Tommy Dreamer back in the day. Well, of course that's not the case. And they start fighting. And after, or in the middle of their fighting, Rusev jumps out of the cake. And so then there's a fight with Liv attacking Lana, Rusev attacking Bobby Lashley out of a cake that he was struggling to get out of because, they probably didn't do a walkthrough with the cake. So yeah. How about Sabu here taping up his pants that are torn?
Got to improvise, right?
Famously, in a barbed wire match with Terry Funk at the ECW Arena in August of 1997, show would go on to be nicknamed Born to be Wired. They took down the ropes and replaced the ropes with strands of barbed wire. They got so tangled up in them that they couldn't move, had to end the match. And then, they ended it with a quote unquote pinfall, but then they had to have help cutting each other out of the thing. So a referee comes in and cuts everybody loose, which is just unbelievable. But in that match, Terry Funk and Sabu are just brutalized. Of course, Funk is wrestling in a t-shirt his Funk U University shirt. But Sabu's wrestling just like he is here. And Sabu tears his bicep with the barbed wire to the point that the muscle starts to come out.
Yeah.
So he pokes it back in and then gets some athletic tape and they wrap it up just to hold it on, hold it in. And then at the end of the match, they super glued him shut backstage.
Ah.
We should watch that sometime.
Jesus. And actually, I want to go back and watch the wedding now too.
No, you don't.
Okay. What's going on? What are they thinking of? I don't get it. I guess I don't know. It's hard for me to, without seeing it. It's hard for me to criticize it. Referee had gone down.
You could have counted to 1,000 right here.
There you are. Dead ahead.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Glasses?
Yep.
Yep. It was a Conrad Thompson sighting.
How about the triple jump? Oh.
There's Charlie. Holding the camera straight ahead.
How do you say his last name? Brazizi?
I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know his last name.
Okay.
I don't. I just knew him as Charlie. You know, I'm terrible on names anyway.
Sure. You're terrible on, I'll just
go ahead. Think of something quick.
No, I was going to mock you again for your Wednesday night work, but you did it for me. So thanks for that.
Here we go. Long way to go with this fucking chair. Oh. These guys did some good shit, man. And we still got what? How many more matches? One more? Two more matches?
Two more.
After this?
Two more.
Wow. So is Awesome and Spike the main event of this show?
Yes, for the world title. God damn it. What else would it be?
Well, some people don't put their world title last.
What about it? What do you think of this one so far?
So far, very good. Van Dam did a good job of selling too, man. I mean, he did some spectacular stuff. I know great bumps, but he was a pretty, what the fuck? Didn't want to sell that though, did he? Split leg moonsault. Wow, that was good. That was pretty fucking cool.
Absolutely.
It was pretty fucking cool because every time someone goes for a Frankensteiner, they hit it, but not that time, right? Block a Frankensteiner. Yeah, I'm with it.
And so here's the big moment. What's Fonzie going to
do? He's going to get a chair to the fucking face.
I love the way Fonzie would sell.
Sell like a drunk man. Did you tell me that Sabu is still working?
Yeah, still wrestling now.
God almighty. God almighty. Look how far he's got to go here. Come on now.
Dude.
The Van Dam, that's hell of a move.
Across the ring, man. It was remarkable how far he could make that.
Hell of a match. How many stars did it get?
2.5. And next up, we get 3 stars for our tag team title match and 3.5 stars for our world title match.
Which tells me that Spike did some bumping around. Did you say Rob Van Dam's wife was here in the audience?
Yeah. He said hello on the way out.
Cause I thought that Meltzer said they just continued to show her. I didn't see her that much, or at least I wasn't looking. Great performers, both of them, man. But you're right though. I guess maybe it's because I've seen a number of ECW matches now and ECW shows now, but there she is. That her right there? Yeah, that's her. I've seen a number of ECW shows now. It's not what it was when it started, was it?
No. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed this match. This was to me like a semi main event. I felt like the tag team match coming up next was really one of the main events. And this was, this is probably my real main event right here. And then, the tag match is second because they had positioned the Impact players, Just Incredible and Lance Storm, to be main eventers, and Raven and Tommy Dreamer clearly are. And it's such a long story with them. It just felt like the main event. And obviously Mike Awesome in the world title is very important, but I don't think, even though they had positioned Spike Dudley to be the giant killer, I don't think anybody really thought Spike Dudley was going to become ECW world champion.
Yeah.
And this is a company that, put it on, let Mikey Whipwreck beat Steve Austin, and Mikey Whipwreck became the accidental world champion. I mean, there were a lot of really cool, didn't see that coming moments, but Spike Dudley at this point was really just a crash test dummy that was a sympathetic baby face, but he was in the spot because they knew, boy, this will look really, really impressive. And it would have been cool from a babyface perspective, but the fans were still so behind Mike Awesome that I don't know. I just didn't see it happening. And of course we know it didn't happen, but Rob Van Dam, one of the best in the world at this point in the eyes of the fans. And there he is, victorious in quite a match with his former tag team partner, the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal Sabu.
Yikes almighty. Just Incredible and Lance Storm. Dawn Marie.
You're a big Dawn Marie fan, I know.
Oh yeah, I am.
The guy on the left is Jason, by the way.
Jason.
Yep.
Okay. Just Jason.
Yep. Jason.
Jason. Okay. Did he go on to do anything else?
Yeah.
Is it somebody that I don't recognize? I should recognize him.
He's been in a lot of ECW shows.
Okay, but after ECW.
No, I think he calls minor league baseball now.
Well, it's a living.
No, Jason Knight, was his name. He's 56 years old from Connecticut. He's your age.
I'm a little bit older than 56, but I appreciate you saying that.
I was trying to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
No,
it'll happen quickly.
He was in the old Eastern Championship Wrestling way back in the day and worked as some enhancement talent matches for the WWF in like 92. But he'd been on the indies since like the mid 80s. So he was a staple in the Northeast, and, whenever they would run like Superstars tapings up there, he'd work on those shows, and then made a little bit of a name for himself in ECW. And, when he started being the second tier for Just Incredible, that's probably what he's best known for. You gonna come to any Rocket City Trash Pandas games?
No. My minor league career is over.
You won't even go to a game?
No, I won't.
Okay. Tell everybody why minor league baseball sucks.
It doesn't suck.
Well, you're not supporting it anymore, even though it's supported your family for decades.
The reason I'm not supporting it anymore is my life has moved on, and that's how I do.
So if some guy comes along and has an idea for a minor league baseball podcast, maybe you'll get back in?
No, I won't.
Well, that's what you do.
No. I'll guarantee you there's no money in a minor league baseball podcast.
Well, you said that about wrestling podcasts once upon a time.
No, that's before I knew there was a Conrad Thompson.
Well, when we run out of shit to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna start talking about minor league baseball.
No, here's the deal. Look, I did 144 plus games a year for 11 years. And prior to that, I did it for 6 years. So we're talking about 144 baseball games a year for like 17 years. I've seen enough minor league baseball for a lifetime. I don't need to see any more minor league baseball games. And I have discovered this, that unless I'm calling an event, I would prefer not to go to an event. I would just soon watch it on TV.
I think that's true about a lot of stuff. Like, you know, I've had season tickets for Alabama games for a long time, but I find myself just giving the tickets away more than I actually attend.
Right.
So I'll have the whole season worth, but I'll go to like a game or two. But I don't want to let the tickets go because, as you know, they're hard to get.
Sure.
So when you've got them, you feel like an obligation to keep them. And everybody else enjoys going, but it's just like, you know what, man? I got a big screen. I got HD. I got a recliner. I have to fight the traffic. I think I'd rather just do it here.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can use those tickets for business purposes. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I do.
Yeah, right. So I get it.
But I do think it's something that everybody should experience once. You know, the same thing about, you know, like WrestleMania, the best seat in the house is on your TV.
Sure it is.
But you need to go to one. I mean, you want to be able to say you went to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you went to one and you still talk about it to this day.
Yeah, I went to 2 of them, and I 5 and 6.
You went to 5?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate you for that. Dude, those are my 2 favorites. And there he is, Raven, your friend.
My buddy.
What was the comic book y'all talked about? Swamp Thing?
Swamp Thing, yep. He got me into Swamp Thing. He thought it was the best comic book out there. And then, of course, the Swamp Thing, it's funny because, you know, I still see Raven now and then because he's in Atlanta, and I see him over at DDP some, and was talking to him, and I told him I was really excited that they had a television show on, because he got me so much into Swamp Thing. There was a television show on DC Universe. If you're a subscriber to DC Universe, which I am, it was a Swamp Thing season 1. They canceled after 1 season. So anyway, I asked him, I said, man, hey, Scotty, come over here. Have you seen the Swamp Thing TV show? He went, nah, I don't want to. What the fuck, man? You're the one that got me into Swamp Thing. I thought you watched. He said, nah, I don't want to. I said, okay. Comic book purist. Scotty had some very good, I thought, insight on Twitter into Game of Thrones. I thought he was very, very good. His opinions on Game of Thrones. So
never saw it.
Yeah, I knew you didn't. You don't know what you're missing. I think we saw a Conrad Thompson sighting there too, just for a moment. So this is Tommy Dreamer and Raven together. Weren't they kind of at one time an uneasy alliance? Was this before or afterwards or during, or, you know, the storyline there? Didn't we do a match where they were tag team champions but didn't want to be, or something like that?
Yes, they're reluctant tag team champions, where
right.
The Dudleys were saying they were going to take these titles and put them on the desk of Vince McMahon because everybody knew they had signed their WWE deal.
Right.
And instead, Tommy Dreamer comes out to make sure that doesn't happen and defend ECW. But of course, he needs a tag partner. So when the Dudleys just start to put the absolute beat down on Tommy because they've got they've outnumbered him, Raven slides in, even flow DDT, 1, 2, 3. The referee hands him the belts. He hands one to Tommy Dreamer, and Tommy Dreamer gets up from a beatdown holding his head like, what the hell just happened? Because Tommy Dreamer has been feuding with Raven forever. Raven had been in WCW. He wasn't even a part of the ECW locker room as far as Tommy knew, wink, wink. So when he realizes, wait a minute, my nemesis is back and he's somehow my partner, we're off to the races.
Great shots of Francine making her way to the ring, but I don't see her at all now, which is disturbing, to say the least. For me, a little personal thing there. We're Lance Storm, man.
He's one of the all-time greats.
Yes, he is.
Part of the WWE machine now.
Good hire for them.
Absolutely.
Maybe you ought to write storylines.
You think?
Well, I get the impression, tell me if I'm wrong here.
Okay.
I get the impression that there's a bunch of writers out there who just don't appreciate the business. They're just being writers to maybe for their writing career in some other form of entertainment. You get that feeling sometimes?
Well, I know for sure that WWE hires people from outside of wrestling who aren't necessarily lifelong wrestling fans because they want something that's new and outside of the box. And, they love that phrase.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I just don't, but sometimes you just got to say, no, we're not doing that. But then again, when you're making money hand over fist, you can afford to do anything you want, I guess. The network, as we're watching right now, has changed the game completely.
Now we got a traditional tag match, or so it seemed until the chair came flying in.
Mm-hmm.
Old school Southern, Credible and Raven both doing it, trying to get the fans into it, slapping the turnbuckle.
Right.
No tag ropes here in ECW. Do you think they needed them?
No, not in ECW. I don't think they needed them. I think there's a place for them. Oh, that should be the finish. It's not. He kicked out of it. Justin looked pretty good here, didn't he? Looked pretty jacked.
How about the chair set up in the middle of the ring spot was always one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this move in particular.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that never gets old for me.
Oh, by the way, I heard from Tommy Dreamer recently. He sent me a text about my dog who passed away, and I heard a lot of the dog lovers out there who sent their condolences, and I appreciate that. And Tommy was one of them. Need more people in the business like Tommy Dreamer.
Good guy for sure.
Yep. Pretty smart here. See, Credible had a little bit of savvy too. He knew where the camera was. He put his head right in front of the camera to show everybody the blood. Just small things like that, man. Oh shit! The cutter on the chair.
Dude, they're pulling out all the stops here.
Yeah, they are. Hey, the other day, JR asked me, he says, what do you think is the difference between a cutter and a stunner? And I said, Stone Cold did the stunner, everybody else did a cutter. And that was my only answer, I guess. I don't know if that was the right one or not. What do you think of that answer?
That's a terrible answer.
Okay. I had a feeling you would shit on anything.
With a stunner, you go down to your butt.
Oh, stop it.
No, I'm saying you lay your legs out flat and you go down to a seated position.
Mm-hmm.
With a cutter, you lay out flat completely. So you guys land horizontally. So the stunner is more where the guy giving the move is at a 90-degree angle.
Okay. Thank you, Gordon Soley. I was just trying to put over his friend, Steve Austin. All right.
Why don't you put over your boss, DDP?
Well, he's not my boss.
You just tell me how you're working at his place all the time. I assume they got you sweeping the floors and doing stretches.
They do not, but I would.
Well, then what's wrong with putting over your friend who apparently keeps you employed?
He didn't say diamond cutter. Okay. So anyway, let's go on with something else here. Here's, who's this guy in the ring now?
It's your mom.
Jason Knight.
Yeah. I can see you remembering things.
How about that? I can remember. Woo! Okay, we've seen kind of enough of the chair in the middle of the ring thing. It's kind of overdone now.
Let's do 2 more.
Yeah, 2 more. Let's make it an even number. Let's make it 8 times in the ring.
I like that everybody's committed to wearing jean shorts here.
Yeah, you think you were at Gainesville, Florida.
Oh.
But I guess they're wearing jean shorts because Raven wears jean shorts. You think that's... Oh, look at Tommy, man. Coming with fire in his eyes. Holy shit, what a bump. A fucking bump.
I love a Lance Storm pile driver.
Yeah. Okay, just to let you know, we're at 207.41, 42, 43. He's pulling the table up. He's up on the apron of the ring, and he's grabbing Tommy, and he's going to suplex him on the table. Tommy says no. Somebody's going to hit the table. Lance is going to hit the table. Ooh. Well, that was a gimmick table. Oh, holy fuck. I don't know if that was a working chair shot or not, but it looked good. Oh my God.
What is a working chair shot? Oh, not in the no.
Now we go. Here we go. That's what we're talking about.
That's what we were there for.
That's what we're there for. Best camera work ever. There you go. You tell her, Francine.
Tony Schiavone is mine. Are you ready for what's coming? How much would you pay to get this?
Lord. Move? I would so go for that.
That'd be the first bump you'd sign up for in wrestling.
Yeah. Yes, it would be.
What if Just Incredible would have hit her? Of course, Raven sacrificed himself. Gonna set up the That's Incredible. Woo! Tombstone pile driver. That's all she wrote. That's your finish. Your winners and new tag team champions of the world. Just Incredible, Lance Storm, the Impact Players.
I like this. I liked this match. Jason needs to learn not to climb in front of the hard cameras, though. That's just inexperience in TV. I liked it. The underside of the belts, and I guess it's lighting, but it looks purple, doesn't it?
It is purple.
It is purple. The underside is?
Yeah. Purple Gator skin.
Purple Gator skin.
Yeah. These belts were designed by Michael Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
And Dio Hughley and Steve Harvey.
The only good gator is a skin gator.
The something else I wanted to mention to you that I thought made me laugh. This is from the same Observer, where Meltzer's giving us all of the insight on the behind the scenes in wrestling.
Yeah.
Reports are that WCW as an entity lost $10 million during the year 1999, which would make it the most money any single wrestling company has ever lost in a 1-year period in the history of the business. Imagine the magnitude of a statement like that. I got to tell you, companies have lost more than $10 million in a single year since then. It may have been a record at the time, but it's a record that WCW no longer holds.
Well, there's more money in wrestling now than there's ever been. So yeah, $10 million in 2000 and $10 million in, between 2010 and 2019 or 2020, it's a little bit, it's hard to compare that, Conrad. You know that.
Okay.
Steve Prazak, a Steve Prazak sighting.
You a big fan?
Oh, I like Steve. He's good. He and Scott Hudson are blow buddies.
Blow buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I did not know that.
No, I have a lot of time for Steve. And of course, you and I both feel the same way about Scott. One of the good guys. And a pro, man. Real pro. Okay, this is Rhino.
Yeah, that's Rhino.
Yeah, it's Rhino.
You called him,
Jack.
I think you called him Casio recently.
Mm.
Now, why do you call Cyrus here? What do you call him? Don Calais?
Don Calais. Don't you think that's how the Callises pronounced their name Calais when they came over here from France?
You think so?
Mm-hmm. The Calais family.
Huh.
And they got over here and someone said, "What's your last name? Callis?"
Huh.
And they went, yeah.
Huh.
So it's probably Calais.
Huh.
See, like our name was Schiavone.
Mm.
Okay. Came over here and they settled in northeastern Pennsylvania and they became Schiavones. And then my dad was sent down from Pennsylvania to Virginia. And when he got to the South, he was Schiavone. And it just kind of sticks with you see, how your name changes. Like you and Larry and your family could have been Thompsons.
Oh, really?
Maybe could have been Thompsons from a little town in Germany. Thompsons. But you get over here, it's Thompson. It's just amazing how names change, pronunciations change through the years.
Sure.
Through the decades. Yeah. Okay. We were seeing during all that insight into last names, we were seeing someone with their mouth bleeding. A look back at some footage.
Yeah.
Was that Spike's wife or
girlfriend got her front teeth knocked out by Mike Awesome.
Okay, so Spike has more than enough reason to want to get into this. It's a stack of fucking tables.
What else would it be?
What? I'm telling you, table manufacturers loved ECW, didn't they?
They had to.
Good God. Come on. I want another.
Another. I like that you gave him like a hillbilly West Virginia.
Yeah, another. Set it up right here on this side. There you go. Come on over here. Get another table. They decided to take a wide shot because they were bored with that. Okay, and now 1, 2, 3, 4. Who was? Do you know the name of Paul Heyman's director back then? ECW.
Buffon, I think.
Okay. I didn't know if he was still doing anything or not.
Yeah.
Wrestling wise.
Ron Buffon. I think he's still doing stuff with that indie promotion, I think.
Okay. Looks like they're going to set a table on every side and at every corner. Mm. Well, where's Conrad? That's not your corner. Oh, they go double it.
What about that? Double tables, baby.
And of course, as we know, Spike is very good as a lawn dart as well.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, we are, aren't we?
This match, by the way, 3.5 stars. Meltzer would say Dudley took a fantastic beating. He got thrown over the top rope through a table. Then he got thrown over the top rope through 2 tables piled on each other. Dudley went for a tope, but caught his leg on the ropes and was falling straight down, but Awesome luckily caught him and was able to break most of his fall. Awesome juiced apparently as an accident. Dudley juiced, which was no accident. Dudley gave him an acid drop off the apron through a table and came off the top rope to the floor with a chair to the head. He went for an acid drop in the ring, but Awesome blocked it and threw Dudley over the top rope through yet another table. Awesome blocks a second acid drop, delivers a great looking clothesline, and the finish was one for the highlight tape. Awesome was on the middle rope, holding Dudley with one arm on his shoulder, and then climbed to the top rope, held Dudley high over his head, and power bombed him through table number 6 for the pin. 3.5 stars. Here he comes. There's the judge, and behind him, the jury and executioner, Mike Awesome himself, your ECW World Heavyweight Champion. And of course, the judge here is here to judge your social media activity and see if it's up to snuff.
Notice how the judge is walking in and he's always talking. That's how he is in real life. Never shuts up. Here we go.
How about wrestling with the belt on? I love it.
1.
Can you imagine? They literally just started. He walked in the ring and picked him right up and threw him through a table.
Oh God. Yeah.
Still has the belt on.
Yes, he does. He yanked it off there.
Unbelievable.
And he says, come on, get in the ring. Well, son, give him a chance to sell this shit, because I'm not so sure he's really selling here. There's 1. Yeah, here we go again. 2, 3. Well, you set him up, son.
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess, if you're going through them, you do want to make sure they're in the right spot.
Right.
Like, oh, I can get to here. Oh, I know I get to that. You don't want to be too short. Once upon a time, Spike Dudley was on Raw and they had some tables set up on the outside, and he missed and just hit his head hard as shit on the table and then the ground. Really less than ideal.
Oh, yeah. Boy, for a guy his size, he could do some great stuff, couldn't he?
Outstanding.
I'm just kind of interested to see how much more ragdolling we got in this thing, because we got we got plenty of it now.
Man, Mike Awesome was just outstanding at what he did. But you know what? So was Spike Dudley. It took 2 to tango.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Well, I was just amazed at the stuff that the offense, the different things that Awesome could do for the size he was. Because you look at him walk to the ring, and as he would strut around the ring, he looked like that he couldn't do a lot. Just one of these big old muscle-bound guys. But then he would do some great shit, and you think, fuck, that guy could really do. That guy was fucking athletic. Well, the announcers sure selling the teeth being knocked out, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
I guess that's a storyline.
I mean, well, it's the motivation for Spike Dudley signing up for this.
Right. So we're in, let's see, 2000. Where are the other Dudleys at this time in the course of the business? Are they in WWE?
Say again?
Where's the other Dudleys?
Like today, you mean?
No, as this is going on right now.
Oh yeah, they're in the WWF.
WWF, yeah, right.
Yeah, they're running roughshod up there. I mean, having a great series of matches with the Hardys and Edge and Christian, and they're becoming wrestling legends.
Yes, they are.
I thought you meant now. I'm like,
no,
what?
No, I mean, I obviously I know what Bubba Ray does now.
What does he do?
He's on Sirius XM.
What else?
I don't know.
Ring of Honor.
Really?
Yeah. I knew you wouldn't know that.
I don't.
Why would you?
That's one of my New Year's resolutions. Maybe to watch some of the other stuff.
Oh, that's cool. I'd be glad to help you with that. Of course, you're never going to come over.
Well, I was going to come over this past weekend, but you said, no, I won't be around. I was going to drive down from Memphis, but you said I won't be around. So just tell me when tell me when you'll be around, and then maybe I'll show up.
Driving down from Memphis, you mean like, oh my gosh. Like now? Like today?
No, look, okay. I was in Memphis and I'd ask you on this show, I said on January 4th, Saturday, January 4th, I'm going to be in Memphis. So on January 5th, I'll come down to see you. And you say, I'm not going to be there. So instead of flying back, I would have driven down. But so you tell me when you're available and I'll come see you. Because I got an item you might want.
Look at that. Top rope Frankensteiner right back up and what a clothesline. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he can take a fucking bump. It's amazing. It's amazing Spike Dudley can even walk now. Aside from being Mike Awesome's manager, what else did Jeff Jones do as the judge in the ring? Did he manage anybody else?
He was a referee once upon a time.
Right. He was the evil referee, right?
Yeah. And he managed Sid once.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. He was like a surprise and the judge brought him out.
I've talked to him about that. So we took at the beginning of this match, we took out like 3 tables.
Yeah.
And
to get us started. Those are like appetizer tables.
Warm up tables. So now we got some more tables to go, obviously, and which is going to be in the finish. Judge says outside.
You got to feel bad for Spike Dudley here. Cause you just know whatever's coming, it ain't good.
No, it's not.
It just ain't good.
No. Sure. Hit him with a chair. Why not? He's out cold. Kaboom. They tried to work that chair shot a little bit. Oh, boy. Oh, I thought maybe I saw that wide shot. He was going to dive through the ropes or something. Here we go. Come on now. Fuck.
Dude.
It's just amazing. It is. A guy that size doing those things, amazing.
Shouldn't be a thing, you know?
No, you're right. So you probably over in your seat was really into this one because you're such a big, awesome Mark.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he didn't disappoint, man.
You know what you were getting with this match. You know, it was, you just knew. And you just feel bad for Spike knowing, you know, how much punishment he's putting himself through here.
And how much punishment he's going to be putting himself through.
Yeah.
Judge is telling him, no. Okay, I'll help you with this. Judge walked over and into Mike Awesome's ear. He says, notice I just helped you with that table. And I was standing there and I just helped you. There's Conrad Thompson's big noggin. Well, your hairstyle has changed over the years now, hasn't it?
Dude, how about, I didn't notice the blood right away, but the accidental and the intentional.
With all these tables, you know, there's going to be some accidental.
I'll never forget Spike Dudley on the documentary where he's quoting poetry, or American, here we go. What a fucking spot, dude.
Jeez,
acid drop through the table. That's when you're like, oh shit, they might do it. You know?
Right.
They're going to do it. It's going to happen.
So that was the acid. That's what they call the acid drop.
Yes.
Okay. Nah, don't fuck around with the camera cable. Don't do that. Come on, kid. Do anything but that. Here it is. I'll show it again. Why not?
Dude, what a bump.
Yeah, it was a hell of a bump, man. Mike braced himself as well as he could, but still. You know what's good about this, too? It seems to be a well-timed show because we got about, 3 minutes left into it and they're still going. We don't have to go to the announcers and talk for 5 minutes.
Right. They're tearing it up, man.
Yeah, they are.
Look at that one.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Even the announcing. Oh my Jesus. Look at the security guards just shaking their head like, holy shit. I mean, at this point, we're just here to fucking identify the body.
That's right. Well, that was it right there. No. This is for the autopsy, this table. Jesus. Running awesome bomb? No. Huck, he's not done yet.
Wait, what's wrong?
I said I thought a running awesome bomb, but Spike came right back, didn't he?
Pretty crazy, this match, when you think about it. This was supposed to be a match that on paper looks ridiculous, but they're telling the ultimate underdog story here. Here comes the finish, the highlight reel finish that Meltzer was talking about. He's on the second rope and he's going to go to the top rope.
Oh. Oh.
Please, if there is any merciful God amongst us, let this be the end. 1, 2, 3, count to 100. Doesn't matter. It was, squash with a capital S, but a totally good story, I guess. Mike Awesome's the guy. And in this era, it's hard to argue, if you looked at the other promotions, that he wasn't, a viable world champion. I guess Bret Hart is the champ here, for WCW. But if wrestling is quote unquote real, you would think, oh, well, Mike Awesome could be him, right?
Yeah.
Just the way he's presented. I mean, of course.
Sure.
But the same thing could be said about the other show. I assume, at this point, Triple H is the world champion. So, if I'm a wrestling fan and I'm like, who would win in a real fight? Triple H, Mike Awesome, or Bret Hart? I think I'd go Mike Awesome. But of course we know when it came to the actual, then the bell rang, two of the all-time greats in Triple H and Bret Hart. And well, maybe we don't think about Mike that way, but really cool to see him here. Mike left us way too early, but fun main event to say the least. 3.5 stars.
Yeah. We don't think of Mike the same way, but Mike never, at least from what you and I have done on this podcast, he's not disappointed us yet.
No, not at all. He's been great. Yeah. Well, listen, this was fun. I'm looking forward to what we've got next. We've recently covered a fair amount of ECW, but we'll be switching things up next week here on the show. We'll be back at you this time covering Sold Out 2000. So the WCW pay-per-view that took place the very same month as this show. But that show, of course, is in Cincinnati, Ohio. There's 14,000 fans there. The main event is Chris Benoit and Sid Vicious. This will be Benoit's last match here in WCW. Arn Anderson, great friend of the show, and recently announced as being All Elite. He'll be your special guest referee. We've got a hardcore match for the commissionership of WCW at stake. Terry Funk will be in there with Kevin Nash, of all people. A caged heat match with The Wall and Billy Kidman. A last man standing match with DDP and Buff Bagwell. Jerry Flynn in singles action against Tank Abbott. Stevie Ray finally taking on his brother Booker T. A bunkhouse brawl with Perry Saturn and Billy Kidman. Brian Knobbs will be in there in a fatal 4-way with Fit Finley, Norman Smiley, and Ming. That's for the hardcore title. The cruiserweight title will hang in the balance for Medusa and Oklahoma.
Oh my God.
A tag match with Big Vito and Johnny the Bull taking on the Harris brothers. David Flair and Crowbar will be on one side, Vampiro on the other. It's a handicap match. And then a catch as catch can match, whatever the fuck that means, with Billy Kidman and Dean Malenko. An interesting finish there, to say the least. But Sold Out 2000 is what's coming your way. We are at this point, I think you would agree, a coffin on roller skates.
Yes, we are. Long before that, we were.
And that would continue on the heels of Benoit forfeiting this title belt. So stay tuned next week. Sold Out 2000. Should be an interesting show to say the least. What's coming up for the rest of the month? On the 22nd, we'll have the 1992 Royal Rumble, which is arguably the most popular and favorite Royal Rumble ever, where Ric Flair, of course, would become victorious. And then we'll round out the month with the 06 Royal Rumble that Rey Mysterio would win. And we'll kick off February, the very day that you and I will be here in Huntsville with our great friend Jim Ross at Stand Up Live. We're going to revisit the main event from 1988 on NBC. Of course, it's Hogan and Andre with the famous double referee bit that, I've talked about a lot. Lots of good stuff coming up here on the show. But Tony, when I look at my clock, I realize it's about that time.
Yes, it's just about that time, but believe you me that we have had a great day of watching ECW wrestling, because every day I'm a tussling. I wanted to tussle with China. I didn't get to, but maybe there'll be plenty of more ladies I can tussle with, because I'm desperately out of time. We'll see you next week on What Happened When. We are on Westwood One, and on Mondays, we are on our great fans on
Patron.
Not your classy podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh. Lowest rules can't pass. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom Zigg's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a chant. Tommy, you come over here.